Good morning. Welcome back to the Silence Challenge, reading a chapter a day from the book Silence in the Age of Noise by Erling Kagge, and then challenging yourself to sit in silence without any distractions, just to build up slowly from 30 seconds to around 5 minutes over the next 30 days. Today it's time for chapter 3, and it's a really short chapter, so you don't need to be here for too long today. So sit comfortably, sit back, maybe close your eyes, take a breath. Erling Kagge is an explorer, Norwegian explorer, famous for climbing Mount Everest and reaching the poles on his own. On my way towards the South Pole, I imagined the man in the moon looking down on the earth. There wasn't a sound from our planet that was able to reach nearly 240,000 miles up to him, but he could see our planet and let his gaze wander far south. There he saw a boy in a blue anorak trudging further and further in across the ice, only setting up his tent in the evenings. The next day he would emerge from the tent and the ritual was repeated. The man in the moon watched the boy head in the same direction, week after week. He must have thought the boy was nuts. Late one afternoon, just before I was about to conclude my day's journey and pitch my tent, I peered up to the sky and imagined the man in the moon turning his gaze far north. Far below, he could observe thousands, if not millions, of people leaving their tiny houses early in the day only to sit in traffic for a few minutes or an hour, as if in a silent movie. Then they arrive at large buildings where they remain indoors for 8, 10 or 12 hours, seated in front of a screen, before returning via the same traffic jam back to their tiny houses. At home they eat dinner and watch the news on TV at the same time each night, year after year. The only difference over time would be that some of those people, perhaps the most ambitious of them, would move to a slightly larger house to spend their nights. As I released my ski bindings that evening to pitch camp, I felt calmer and more content. I really like that chapter because I used to work in corporate and do that daily commute and sit in front of the screen for 8 hours, and it just gives you pause for thought, doesn't it, about what are we doing with our lives. And I know we have to work, we have to live, we have to eat, but yeah, if we get caught up in that rat race of just so we can get that tiny bit bigger box to come home to each night, and we're putting ourselves under a lot of pressure, it does make you wonder why. So we're going to sit for 50 seconds today. Silence. When you're ready, take a breath. Let it go and let's begin. That's it. That's your 50 seconds. Notice how it felt. Notice whether it felt easy, difficult, joyful, peaceful. It doesn't matter. The point is just to show up and to do it, and together we will grow to being able to sit and tolerate the silence for 5 minutes or so. We'll see where we get to. If you're enjoying this challenge and joining in, please do comment, leave a little heart, or just comment #SilenceChallenge. Share it with someone who you think might need it. It doesn't matter where you jump in along the way. We'll do this together. Thank you for joining me. Bye for now. Have a great day.